Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we bring you Season 3, Round 6 of the EDF Motorsports GT4 TCR Challenge, brought to you live from a foggy Twin Ring Motegi in Japan. In the booth with me tonight, as usual, I have Mr. Bill Switzer. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody.
I have Mr. Ryan Walker. Good evening.
Yep, good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everyone.
And your cameraman, as usual, and doing all the wizardry in the background, is Mr. Happy Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
So, gentlemen, Twin Ring Motegi. Now, I don't think I've ever had a good race around here. Some people will say I've never had a good race round anywhere. But to me, it was always one of those very tricky, slippery Japanese tracks. And our weather tonight as well has also introduced a bit of fog. So, Bill, first off, what are your experiences from Twin Ring Motegi? And secondly, what do you think to the weather?
Well, I was having a hard time remembering Twin Ring Motegi. It's kind of one of the forgotten Japanese courses that we have on iRacing. I was trying to recall if I ever raced here, and then I realized when I took a couple spins around in practice that we had raced supercars, I believe, here at one time. And I totally agree with you. It's a very kind of unusual course, very tricky, very kind of swishing back and forth, a lot of left-right combos and that kind of stuff. And not exactly I would put on my favorite list, but hey, it might turn out okay. And the weather absolutely bites. It's terrible. May even make this little slick track slipperier. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, certainly. It's a fairly cool track. 65 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment, Ryan, but 100% humidity, and we've got a bit of fog.
Yeah, it should make it interesting, and maybe spotting some of these corners, especially in the last sector, might make it a bit difficult. But I think it's Twin Ring Motegi is one of my favourites, especially in the V8 supercar, and yeah, it's nice and it's a technical track which I love, and I think passing around here, especially in the last sector, might be a little bit difficult for it when it comes to lapping traffic, if it does come to lapping traffic, because I think apparently it won't happen during the race.
Yeah, from memory, and my memory is terrible, I think I've only ever done 2 races around here. One was in the V8s, where I never got to overtake anybody, purely because I was being overtaken all the time. And many years ago, we did a radical race round here, which was absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, I don't think I did particularly well in either of them. Evening to Alan Toon on the chat. Nice to have you with us. Ryan, so you love this track. If memory serves, pit lane is tricky here.
Yeah, the pit entry it's a bit of a tricky one, because you're carrying so much speed before the final couple of corners, and then it comes to the pit entry, you've got to slow right down after from like a massive speed. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see people braking for the pit speed line and maybe just possibly lock the rears up and loop it around.
Yeah, so let's have a look at what happened last time out. So last time out, in GT4, we had another win for AAA. Rob Venn got his best ever finish of second, and Andy Perks got his best ever finish, I believe, in third. In TCR, we had Chris Shaw took home the win, followed by Tom Stanley, and Gary Craig got another podium position. So, give Sam a 2-minute warning that we're going to go through the standings, and hopefully he's flicked the button and we're up. So, at the moment, in GT4, AAA leads the way, currently on 882 points. Bear in mind, drop weeks count after week 7. Stuart Dick is in second place with 787. Paul Burgess is third with 755. Rob Venn in fourth with 638. And Andy Perks in fifth with 626. Into your TCR standings. At the moment, Chris Shaw is running away with it, but as I say again, remember the drop scores. He currently sits on 961, with Tom Stanley in second with 744, Gary Craig in third with 727, Lee Bowden in fourth with 599, and Scott Malcolm in fifth with 537. Into the team championships, and it's an asymmetric sweep at the moment. So asymmetric GT4 sit top of the pile with 1669, asymmetric TCR second with 1276, BSTV Esports Green are third with 1194, BSTV Esports Yellow are fourth with 1149, and Ninth Light Racing are fifth with 1093. So that is your current standings, everybody. Bill, so we've seen how tight the battles are throughout both fields in this. AAA has got a couple of wins under his belt recently. Can he pull another one out of the bag tonight?
Well, he's got the big Mo going for him. I'm certain that's a possibility. But we got a few eager guys that want to probably knock him off the top step of the podium this time around. Namely, I think our own Tyler Newitt would like to put another one up there. And, possibly Paul Burgess. He's kind of due. He's getting close every time. And he's learned how to race smart. And he's due. He's really due. So, as I said, I'm not picking those people so that they don't accuse me of giving them the black cloud syndrome. But they definitely have a shot at it. And TCR is basically up for grabs. Chris, lately it's been the Chris Shaw, Tom Stanley show, but Mark Heron's very close, and the run for third is unreal. And Craig Gary, as it says out here, Craig Gary is definitely on a roll. He's doing a great job in third place, racing smart, knows his strategy, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with before the end of the season's over, I believe.
So you're tipping Paul Burgess for the win then, Bill?
No, I'm not.
I honestly can't disagree with you there. Paul is due a win, most definitely. Interestingly, Tyler Newitt and Rob Venn have switched from the Porsche to the BMW. And we have a new driver in Pete Van Gool in the TCRs. Hello to Kevin Veermont on the chat. So Ryan, where are you looking in this field for winners tonight?
I'm not so sure. I mean, it's so tight in both classes, but I think if I was to pick a winner based on pace, I would have to go with AAA for tonight. He's just been having the last couple of rounds. He's just been on a good run, so I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the win tonight in GT4. But TCR, that's probably the one that's so hard to predict. There's so many good drivers around in that class, but also some drivers picking up the pace and starting to improve. And you've got the likes of Gary Craig. He's been on the podium a few times this season so far. So I'd like to see him do well tonight, but if it was to pick a winner, I would probably have to say I'm going to go with I'm going to be different and say Mark Heron.
Yeah, again, I think Mark is one that's due a win. We see him, he should have won a race earlier in the season. Less said about that, the better for Mark.
But we know what happened there.
But yeah, he certainly... he's one of them drivers, isn't he, Mark? He's either middle of the pack or right up the front. It doesn't seem to be an in-between with him. But yeah, I think this is a rhythm track, and I always find that it's quite difficult to get into that rhythm. But when you do, that's when you start really banging in the lap times. The TCR battle just fascinates me. We know Tom and Chris are, on their day, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. They were head and shoulders above the rest. I'd say they're just head above now. Ashley Gravel, he can certainly put it up there. Gary Craig, he's not going to settle for third place in every race. So yeah, it's and we don't know how Pete Van Gool is going to get on. We've not seen him in this league before. We know he's a decent driver in the GT3s. Martin Brennan is improving week in, week out. So yeah, it's absolutely fascinating, and to me, it's just going to be whatever driver gets to grips with this track the quickest. I'm led to believe that it is either absolutely smash it with pace and do a two-stopper, or save quite a bit and make it a fuel-saving one-stopper. So we see last time out, the AAA was going for it. Gary Craig was saving. Pete Bingham ended up on a totally different strategy to everybody else. So yeah, the strategy side of it is fascinating. And Kevin has just asked if I'm ready for a new safety car show. Yes, I'm always ready for a safety car show. Just be warned that I have driven 8 hours through Storm Christoph today, all the way from Wales back home. So if the safety car goes out, I can't guarantee what's going to happen, because I don't know if my eyes will be open or not. But let's wait and see. Obviously, Sam is the only person that knows if that is coming out or not. So let's have a quick look at where we are in qualifying, gents. We are 13 minutes in. Currently, Stuart Dick sits on provisional pole in GT4 with Paul Burgess second and AAA third. Into your TCR class, Chris Shaw currently sits on provisional pole with Tom Stanley in second and Gary Craig third. There's a shock. This is a sunrise session, so I'm not sure what the weather is going to do. The temperature hasn't changed from the earlier practice session, and nor has the humidity. Obviously, we don't set these conditions. We use the realistic option with iRacing, which isn't always realistic or dynamic, but we'll wait and see. Bill, do you think the fog as it is will play into this, or do you think the drivers have got there's a good shot from Sam? I don't think that we can follow Steph all the way around. Do you think the fog will affect visibility, or from that shot do you think they'll get away with it?
Yeah, I don't think they'll have any problem there. It's first of all, it can be a little bit distracting, but I mean, you got pretty good distance view, so I don't think it'll be a problem. I mean, it's not, if they were driving like a Formula One car or something, I'd say maybe, but we don't quite have that kind of speed, so I don't think we would have to worry about it.
Yeah. Evening to Marco Lewert on the chat. He's tipped his team to get the strategy wrong straight away, which is always interesting. Ryan, obviously you've probably done more laps around here than me and Bill put together. Where's the overtaking zones?
I would probably say overtaking zones, you've got the run-up, heading up the closest start finish line. You've probably got that that double right-hander in turn 1 and turn 2 that you want to try and make a move if you get a good run. It's it's quite wide as well, so you can't go too wide through there. And then you've got this straight as well, heading up to a double left-hander, which is another passing opportunity. And then there's so many overtaking opportunities. You've got loads of places and to plan your move, so you don't have to rush straight away and try and get it done like you would maybe do at other tracks. So it'll be interesting to see where everybody tries to overtake.
Yeah, it's we've said this before. This can be one of those tracks where sometimes you just have to put your nose in where it's not wanted, and hope the other driver gives you some room. But yeah, there certainly could be some frustrations out here because there are parts of this track that you've not really got much hope of overtaking unless you throw one down the inside. There's a lot of straight and then heavy braking, isn't there?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. You don't have a lot of speed differential between these vehicles, so going down the straightaway, you're going to follow the leader, and then when you get to the corner, there's going to be a lot of diving, that kind of stuff. It could, like you said, could create some problems. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, so we've got three minutes left, I think.
I meant to mention Jamie Jeffries really appears to pick up his game. I mean, he's up to 4th place in qualifying. That's pretty darn good. I mean, he's been struggling a little bit, but I know he's been asking questions about the Porsche and a bunch of things. I mean, he didn't ask me, but I noticed his, because I know nothing about it, but I noticed he was asking on the forum this week, and hey, he's done pretty darn well.
Yeah, to be fair, Jamie's not a bad driver. He just doesn't read things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I got to tell you, real life driving doesn't really combine with this exactly as people think it does. It's like different, I know Jamie does some driving, realistically, but this is a different ball game here.
Yeah, it certainly is. Certainly is. I'm just trying. Has anybody changed places yet? No, we're still in exactly the same situation as we was, and nobody's really bagging any quicker times at the moment. What's going on? Track conditions are the same, so it's not that.
Mark Herron's doing his famous I'm qualifying hurt. He's down in I don't know, about 7th or 8th place in TCR, and we know he'll come up through the field.
Yeah. If only Scott Malcolm as well could
really
improve his qualifying, he'd be right up there. But evening to Olivia from Guadeloupe. I have no idea where that is actually. Is it
Guadeloupe?
Is it Bahamas way? That way, isn't
Caribbean.
it?
It's in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Sure, they're having a heck of a lot better weather than we are in Florida.
I'm sure they are. Yeah. I'm going to have to make Olivier my best friend so I can go and visit him often. Yeah, Marco Lewert just noting how close the qualifying is.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in GT4, Stuart Dick is the only person that's got into the 58s.
He's doing some kind of asymmetric magic we don't know about, I'm sure.
And you can see how close it is in TCR because the top 6 are all in the 202s and the bottom 6 are all in the 203s.
Yep. I'd like to mention Carl Hardy too. If he'd quit stopping at the pie stands, he'd be doing a heck of a lot better. He puts a lot of work into doing well, and he's picked up a lot since our first season.
Yeah, I think, and this isn't a dig at Carl. I think Carl enjoys the the social side and,
Yep.
and you know, having a laugh, and he doesn't take his racing seriously, and he's usually got a smile on his face whether he finishes 4th or 44th.
It's true. You can hear it in the interviews. One thing he always mentions is, even though he might have had a bad day, he says, "Hey, this is fun. You know, we're having fun at this. You know," and he really means it. So
his biggest goal every time he races is to beat David Ayres, just so that they've got something to talk about at work the next day.
I'm sure.
So the checkers are out in qualifying. Still not seeing any movement anywhere.
You know, some week you should qualify the pace car. See how you do.
Trouble is, Bill, I'd put them all to shame.
Yeah, you don't want to embarrass them.
I'd probably do a 1:32 in the jet around here.
Yeah, you'd embarrass them. Yeah, you're probably right.
And everybody would quit because they realise how bad they are. Okay, so I don't think we haven't got any. Have we got anybody on track? No, we haven't. So we will just wait for the session to click over, and then Bill and Ryan will bring you your official starting grid. In the meantime, we've got 20 people watching and only 6 likes, and at least one of them is mine. Don't force me to send you pictures of Pete in a dress.
God. We had enough of that, please.
I still have nightmares about that. So just while we're waiting, quick recap. It's a 60-minute race. They are limited to 30% of their fuel tanks. So there will definitely be at least one pit stop. There may or may not be a random safety car between minute 15 and 45. The drivers are currently commenting and complimenting the safety car driver.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Sam. Okay, on the pole in GT4, we got Stuart Dick, asymmetric GT4. Second, Paul Burgess, Ninth Light Racing. Third, AAA, Abdel Al Amri in asymmetric GT4. Fourth, Jamie Jeffrey, CCR. Fifth, Tyler Newitt, BSTV Esports Yellow. Sixth, Andy Perks, Independent. Seventh, Stefan Gobel, VTS Germany. Eighth, Rob Venn, BSTV Esports Orange. Ninth, Yaz Samai, Ninth Light Racing. And 10th, Tim Oreo, Otheo.
Yep, taking the pole position in TCR is Chris Shaw for Ascari Autosport with Tom Stanley from Asymmetric in second place. Then riding in row 2 is Gary Craig for BSTV Esports Green. Fourth place is Ashley Jafal for Ignum Motorsport with Pete Bingham in fifth for BSTV Green. And sixth place is Mark Heron for Asymmetric TCR with Martin Brennan in seventh. Eighth place is Pete Van Gogh for Work Guard by Result. Ninth is Scott Malcolm for BSTV Esports Yellow, with 10th going to Carl Hardy from Result Clothing. 11th is David Ayres. Roger Motor in 12th for Safeguard by Result.
Okay, thanks for that, guys. We've been given permission by Stacey to start the race now that she's on. And Sam, I think you may need to look at our graphics and give us a fog version.
Sun's trying to peek through in that picture there.
So it looks like a short safety lap. We've got Martin Brennan starting from the pits He was pinged by the stewards for a move at the last race.
Base lap has begun.
Just a word to any of the drivers that watch this back. Just remember, the stewards do take a favourable look at the incident if you redress the position. So, pace car is in the fog.
Okay, and they're away.
Yeah, that was a weird start.
Yeah, Paul Burgess was hanging back. I'm not
He
quite
was,
sure
wasn't
why.
he? Yeah.
And Stuart Dick leads them in the first turn, AAA in second, and Paul Burgess third. And looks like we've got Tyler Newitt and Jamie Jeffrey almost side by side. Oops. And the TCRs are away.
Yeah, Tom Stanley having a look straight away.
Oh, that was Rob.
That was Andy Perks and Rob Venn.
That's not a neat way to start.
Not sure what happened because obviously we just see a quick blink of it. I'm sure Sam will get it back for us at some point. Here we go. So Rob's on the inside.
Oh, it came across the grass.
Yes. So yeah, that was all on Rob, that one.
Yeah.
How did he end up on the grass? Because I wasn't watching that.
Maybe the fog, he couldn't see. Did you hear that, Rob?
Yeah, it looks like Rob needs to eat more carrots. See through the gloom.
Someone else has went off as well. It looks like one of the B. Oh, that's Jamie Jeffrey.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
What the heck happened here? Thunder in there a little too hard or what? It's right behind Tyler Newitt. Whoa!
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
He was. Either Tyler broke before he thought he was going to, but I think Jamie bailed out there rather than hit somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looked like he went to the grass just so he didn't hit him.
That's a shame.
So, Bengo on Twitch has asked us, where's the Bambucha bomber? I presume he's talking about Xavier Mabucha. And the answer is, we don't know. Ooh, that's Timorio going wide, yeah.
Yeah, doing a bit of rally close.
Andy Perks is up behind Stefan Goebel.
Sometimes the driver to make this statement, but I have to tell you, the few practice laps I took here, I found it pretty easy to go off the road here. I mean, you think the corner, I don't know whether the radius changes or whatever, but when you're coming out of that corner, all of a sudden you're out in the weeds. You go, what the heck? I mean, it looks like you have plenty of time and plenty of room, but I don't know. It might just be my driving. Never mind. Go ahead, continue. This is Stefan Goebel and Andy Perks.
It's all happening back here.
Ashley Gappel and
that's Gary. Is it Gary Craig? Yeah, I believe it is.
Yep, Gary Craig. He always like the battle EP and TCR.
This is Mark Heron. Must be looking back from Gappel's car.
Yeah, I think Mark gave Ashley a little love tap. Marco Luer, yes, Tyler and Rob Venn have both switched to the BMW.
On board with Mark Heron. He's behind Andy Gaffel.
Or his brother Ashley.
Yeah, him too. Well, I'll tell you, that distance shot, you notice the fog, that's for sure.
So, who's that? Oh, it's Jamie Jeffrey, isn't it? Oh,
Jamie! Oh, Jamie, what were you
Whoa,
doing?
wow. 5 cars off there, look at that.
Didn't look like a good move.
Yeah,
he almost T-boned Mark Heron at the same time there, whoa.
Yeah, that was the... Yeah, I think Jamie should have waited.
Yeah.
Oh! What the hell?
Wow! Oh!
Oh, come on, guys.
That's carnage.
I'll try not... I was going to say something, but I'll bite my tongue.
Malcolm's the winner of that deal.
Yeah, I was going to say Scott's gained a heap of positions out of that.
He and David Ayres are slamming doors together there. Who's coming up behind him? Who's that? That's Pete now. That's Carl Hardy. Yep.
Yeah, Carl Hardy. He just came from nowhere. I have to say though, looking back at that incident on my end, the replay from the in-game, I thought that was a bit, it looked like private standard watching with the MX-5s.
Yeah, I'd like to obviously want to see a replay. The first incident, I think, was just Jamie Jeffrey being impatient. But I didn't see...
Oh, Scott Malcolm!
Oh, did Scott just turned across him there?
Yeah, Scott kind of faded to the outside right in front of David Ayres.
Contact ahead as well.
Oh my goodness. Bumper cars.
Yeah, it's not a normal.
Right, here we go. So,
yeah, I think Jamie just gave a bit of a hip check.
Yeah, it was the initial was Jamie and Mark coming together. It was this bit that what happened here.
Oh, Jamie.
Wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
To be fair, it looked like netcode, but
Yeah,
I think it was still going to happen.
Netcode to start with, yeah. The initial move there was netcode. Whoa. Wow. Who's involved there? Let's see.
One
Everybody.
of them. Ashley.
Ashley Gaffel?
Yeah.
He wishes that was his brother, by the way. Andy.
And this is the Scott Malcolm one.
Yeah, just looking at this, I think Scott.
He just goes
Yeah,
wide,
I think Scott's just drifted, isn't he? And
Yep. And David Ayres was there.
yeah, there's a car. Whoa!
Oh, and Mark Heron comes sailing through there, but jeez.
And the two BSTV teammates collide as well. I wonder if they've been taking lessons from Red Bull Racing.
So yeah, I think that was all started with a GT4 driver just not having any patience, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. You know, he was the first to spin off and trying to make up time. You try to go too fast sometimes, and that's what happens.
Definitely. So we are 8.5 minutes into this race. Stuart Dick currently leads the GT4 field with AAA in second and Paul Burgess in third. In the TCR field, Tom Stanley leads the way ahead of Chris Shaw. So that's a change from the start. And Carl Hardy is in third.
Obviously, Gary Craig was involved in that accident. He's way back with Pete Bingham as well. Unless did they stop? I don't know. I didn't see.
I don't think they have. I think it was just because they were caught up in that incident.
Yeah.
Well, Martin Brennan has gone from a pit lane start up to 8th. So he's going great guns at the moment. And there he is.
Ashley Gavel just left a note in the forum here that he wasn't real happy about that outcome.
Yeah, I think, excuse me, it was just I think it was all caused by Jamie just being too impatient.
Yeah, he was trying to get back up there and made a foolish move, I guess, or something. It happens, you know. We're all human. Sometimes, haven't seen a perfect one yet, to be honest.
And up at the front TCR, it's the Tom and Chris show with both of them just checking out.
Yep. Yeah, they have about an 8-second, a little more than a 7.5 second lead on Carl Hardy, roughly.
Yeah, and look who's behind Carl.
David Ayres. Got a little second and a half lead, 1.2 ahead of David Ayres. And our new addition, Peter Van Gool's in third place, not too far behind David Ayres. Rob Ben's way back too. What happened to him? He got involved in something apparently. Oh, that's right. I remember. Okay.
Yeah, Rob was on the grass, wasn't
That's
he?
right,
On,
yeah.
on lap 1.
Yeah, he waited for the whole field to go by. Sadly. All right, we're a little more than 10 minutes into it, which is still got a long way to go.
Gonna check to see what my spy has told me about fuel.
It appears that Chris Shaw right now is riding the tip. You know, if Tom Stanley was in back, he'd probably be doing the same thing. So they play a little game. Who's going to save fuel? Who's going to? Although I have to say, Chris, I mentioned it before, but your paint scheme this year is much better than last year's.
I wonder if it's possible to do a lap on board with Chris Shaw when they cross the stripe. Sam, please.
We're going to check and see if he's fuel saving, eh?
No, I'm just interested in how these TCRs are handling the track. What the visibility is like.
Yeah, it looks like Chris just saved the field because he gets saved.
Whoa!
Yeah, I was going to say
Wow.
it was like a green save because he left it off very early.
He was skating that time.
So we got a message from Tony Klusterman that iRacing is currently down. How are you guys still running? It's because we're special.
Down. Huh. Maybe that's why we have fog.
Yeah, it could be.
Even though we had probably down to that incident that happened, it's good to see the result, guys. Carl Hardy and David Ayres having a good race so far.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, Pete Van Giel, new guy to the series, up there in 5th in TCR. Oh, what's AAA doing?
Oh, he just stopped, or is he slowed down?
What's he doing?
What's going on there? Technical issue?
Yeah, I wonder if that's a VR issue.
He's looking around like, what happened? Trying to figure out. He must have lost his connection. He's trying to figure out what's going on there by the inset picture.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just maybe he's that's weird.
Looking around.
Oh, it's his VR.
Ah,
Ah ha ha. So AAA there pointing to his VR headset. He's having an issue.
Yeah, he's pointing to his VR as if it's maybe something that is froze. Oh, Mark Namela said in the chat that his VR's dead.
it's technical issues like that are so frustrating. I mean, if you do something stupid on the track and crash, it's one thing, but when that happens, there's nothing you can do about it.
No, but you weigh that up against these simulated cars never have technical issues.
No,
and everybody that's raced or watched racing can see how easily a car can have a technical issue. So this is our version of it.
I never looked at it that way, but you're absolutely correct when you think about it. Whoa!
Whoa! Jamie Jeffries doing
Come on,
Tokyo
Jamie.
Drift.
Come on, Jamie. Calm down. Put it back together. Let's go. I love that TCR, the dashboard, when it's time to shift, big red square about 5 inches across. Shift!
Yeah, it's because it's a ladies' car.
No doubt what it wants you to do. Do you think Tom Stanley's the heir to the Stanley Tools fortune? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he's not, we'll just tell everybody he is.
Well, by the color of his car, I figured maybe he is, because that's their colors. Wow.
Chris Shaw's car. We don't very often go on board with Chris, but he seems to be running a really, really loose car, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, most of the fast guys like their car loose. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Or certainly under braking anyway. Perhaps
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Got a lot of rear bias dialed in.
That's right.
Yeah, I've noticed with the TCR as well, when it comes to braking, the car seems to be not majorly sketchy, but it just seems to move around a little bit. But I think it might just be the nature of the car.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. I've never driven the car in anger, as much as I like front-wheel drive cars. So we are into the random safety car zone.
Yes, we are. The accident we had was pretty close to a safety car, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't one when it happened.
Well,
it wasn't that bad. It seems.
Cleared relatively quickly, I guess, but
And if we do get a safety car, hopefully Clyde can put on a bit of a show like he done at Silverstone last week.
I'm sure I could organise some donuts.
he'll never top that one.
I don't like to swear, but when I watched it out back, I absolutely pissed myself.
Oh yeah.
Looks like AAA's still having problems. He reconnected but has disconnected again.
That's a shame. And if you remember, Ryan, we were laughing so hard when it happened, and we were speechless. I mean, we couldn't even say anything. It was hilarious.
Tom's gone in. Tom's in.
Tom's pulled the trigger.
That's what I hate about that darn pit road. You can't tell whether they're going off track or whether it's a safety or the pit road. Got Pete Bingham and who? Gary Craig together. Okay. They got shoved back because of the accident. And we didn't mention, but Pete qualified pretty well today, too. He qualified 5th, did pretty darn well, actually. But Clyde doesn't want to commend Pete at all because Pete gets very suspicious when Clyde's nice to him. So,
So I'm just waiting for him to throw it all away.
Carl Hardy's now in proverbial second because who was it? Who went in the pits? Tom Stanley. That's right.
Yeah, and the sun's starting to peek through. We get some shadows on the track.
So what about our temperatures here? 18 degrees centigrade.
So we've gone up 1 degree Fahrenheit since the start. "20 minutes in, so we're a third of the way through."
Come on, David. You better put the coal to that puppy dog. You don't want Carl busting your stones all week. Let's go.
I'm guessing Tom is just going for a flat-out 2-stopper.
Is he going like gangbusters or?
Well, he's pitted early, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
We've got to get it right one week, haven't we? So obviously the issue that AAA had has promoted Paul Burgess back up to second, and Tyler Newitt to third. Paul will be praying that Tyler doesn't get anywhere near him after last week.
Yeah, both of them had a bit of a ding-dong last week as well. Not once, but a couple of times.
Yeah. And I don't think either time it was Paul's fault.
And of course, poor Tyler was groveling like crazy, trying to apologize. And
well, Tyler felt that bad. He retired the Porsche, didn't he?
Yeah.
Moved to the BMW.
Yep. I think he got tired of not having grunt and a little more speed or something. I'm not quite sure why he changed, but.
Stuart Dirk having a good run at the front as well, and yeah, it's good to see. He's been on the pace at times this season so far, but he's just not had the luck.
That's for sure.
Yeah, normally, I think we've said it before, haven't we? If there's a crash somewhere, Stuart will find it.
Or it finds him. I'm not quite sure how that works, but that's true. You know, the sun shining through between the sun and the clouds in between. Boy, you can that view was really cloudy that time, or foggy, I should say.
But he's got a decent gap, so
he's doing very well. It's almost 8 seconds. Wow. But of course, we all have to stop here. So
and you know, we've seen it in the past. I'm not going to mention any names, Mark Heron. Where people should have won but didn't.
Yeah, it's sad to see Mark. Basically, yeah, he's run at long beats all to pieces in the closing stages, but I don't know if it was just maybe nerves getting to him, maybe not being used to being at the front there that much. But yeah, that was just unfortunate to see. But at the moment, yeah, it's not going well so far as well.
Yeah, you know, as we said with Paul Burgess, you know, we know there's a win coming for him, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a win coming for Mark Heron at some point. He's in that asymmetric team, so he's got some fantastic teammates to coach him. So yeah, I think as soon as Mark gets his mojo back and gets a track that he's comfortable on, He's going to be right up there again, and he's just pitted.
Okay, Paul Burgess and Tyler Newitt are beginning to get closer together here.
Yeah, Paul will be crapping himself now.
Don't look in the mirror, Paul. Just drive your own race, man.
Because I'm sure that BMW can push him further off the track than the Porsche did.
Yeah, a lot more mass there.
Stefan Goebel in the pits.
Haven't mentioned Stefan much tonight.
No, he's a very, I don't know what the word is, what word I'm looking for. He just races, doesn't he? And it's very rare that he does anything overexcitable or,
Yeah.
you know, he just races, finishes, races, finishes.
I don't know whether it was last week or the week before. He was really picking up his game. He seemed to be doing a whole bunch better as far as position-wise. I mean, you know, his driving is excellent. He doesn't do anything, like you said, he doesn't do much wrong, to be honest, but he just never seems to be in the right place at the right time, or gets caught by a safety car or fuel situation or whatever. But nice paint scheme on his car, too. Nice.
Yeah, I think his teammates let him down, to be fair, by making him do this on his own.
You mean Marco Lewert, you mean? Yeah.
Would I say that? Evening to Andrew McKinley on the chat. He is the one and only member of the Scott Malcolm fan club. Okay, so Stuart Dick is in. And Perks is in. Paul Burgess carries on. Tyler Newitt carries on.
Marco Wert saying not enough power for him.
Yeah, we've seen him in the GT3. He needs less power. So this is Pete Van Gool. Got Scott Malcolm behind him. Carl Hardy and David Ayres have come in together. Chris Shaw is still going.
Pete Van Golen as well.
Oh, we got somebody else coming in there. Who's that? Yellow. Is that Scott Malcolm?
Scott, yeah. Scott
Okay.
has followed Pete in.
Scott's probably got his 74,000 fuel laps running.
Yeah, all of them wrong.
Yeah, I wonder if Paul and Tyler will come in at the same time as well.
Well, they need to. Where are they on track? Just having a look. If they could eke another lap. Let's have a look. Through the gloom. And they are, aren't they?
Oh, Mark Herron's disconnected from the game as well.
Oh, what the heck happened to him?
So to me, that means, or it would assume, that Paul and Tyler are both one stop. Tim Oreo's in.
Mark, how come you quit? I didn't pick you to win, buddy.
That was me. That was my fault.
Oh, you're trying to steal my thunder, huh, Ryan? Okay.
I'm saying nothing.
Yeah, Bill put the mockers on Paul.
Did not.
certainly is, Marco. Absolutely lovely, dipped in cold, fresh milk. Chris Shaw has pitted. And he's right on the bubble. And he's come out, I believe, right behind Tom Stanley.
Gee, there's a shocker.
There you go.
Yep, there he is. Looks like he lost a little distance there, though.
Yeah, Carl Hardy and David Ayres are still close together, and David's a lot closer than he has been before.
Yeah, this could end in tears.
In goes the office meeting.
Okay, Burgess and Hewitt both came in together.
Look at these two guys.
Just waiting for a brake check from Carl Hardy, just to make sure they work in the fog.
The wheels on Carl Hardy's car look like they were painted by Clyde Whiting. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, it's be interesting to find out what happened with Mark Heron. We see him going into the pits. Not sure if he had a dodgy pit stop or something and said enough was enough. So we're looking at here Tim Oreo.
That's Stefan Goebel right in the front. And
Here comes Jazz. So these two are always close on the track.
Yeah.
Which is good because they've got somebody to race, and you know, racing each other will make them better naturally. So
Absolutely. That is one thing nice about this league, even though it's kind of compact in comparison. They seem to what would you call paired off, you know, and depending where you are in the field.
okay, so Martin Brennan has just had a crash, Sam, and according to Stacey on the chat, it's got something to do with the cats.
Oh, sure, go blame the cats.
To be fair, at least he's not hit anything there.
That wasn't too bad.
No, Bill's scoffing again.
He always eating cake.
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Thought you were supposed to call him my lord.
So, Stuart Dick has got an 11-second lead, but I think, I was going to say we, but I'll say I, and then it's only me that gets it wrong. I think he's going to have to splash and dash.
Possibility.
Yeah, I think the only way I can see Stuart making it to the end, possibly, if he does a lot of lifting coasting.
Yeah, and we'll know if that's happening because we'll see that gap come down quite considerably. Gary Craig's in the pits. So we're at minute 34, so 11 more minutes of the safety car window.
Yeah, I think if there is a safety car that comes out before the end of the race, I think that might just save Stuart's bacon with regards to fuel.
Very well
Yeah,
put.
possibly.
Chris seems to be closing in just a little bit.
Really wish we could have a live fuel feed from these cars. Just so people would think we knew what we was on about. Although we'd probably still get it wrong. I think you're right. I think he's definitely closer, isn't he?
Yep. As you said before, Tom might be pedaling it a little bit, maybe.
Well, yeah. I just, I think Tom has just gone, right, it's a two-stopper. Because he pitted on lap 9.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he can make it on that, does it? No.
And the estimate for laps is somewhere between either 29 or 30.
For what?
For the full distance.
Oh, okay.
Although I think the pace is a little bit slower, so it might be 28 or 29. But he's certainly putting the pressure on now.
Yeah, I wonder if Chris will maybe just try and stay in Tom's slipstream and try and maybe save a little bit of fuel towards the end. Maybe see if we can get a one stop.
Yeah, or maybe he's pressuring Tom into going faster than Tom wants to go.
No, good point.
So after the pit stops and 37.5 minutes in, Stuart Dick currently leads the GT4 field. And he's got an almost 12-second lead at the moment, but possibly needs to splash and dash. We'll wait and see. Paul Burgess in second and Tyler Newitt in third. Now we think those two are on a one-stop fuel save strategy. Andy Perks currently sits fourth, Stefan Goebel fifth, Tom Oreo in sixth, Yaz Samai 7th, Rob Venn 8th, and Jamie Jeffrey is your last runner in GT4 in 9th. In your TCR field, Tom Stanley currently sits in first position. I believe he's got to stop again. Chris Shaw, we think, is trying the fuel save one-stopper in second. Carl Hardy is currently third, David Ayres fourth, Scott Malcolm fifth, Pete Van Gool in sixth, Roger Morton in seventh, Martin, that bloody cat, Brennan in eighth, Gary Craig ninth, Princess Pete in 10th is your last runner. I think lots of cars are on lots of different or trying different strategies here.
Yeah, Mark Heron was not. It was not a technical issue. He's unhappy with somebody in the field there, so we'll let it go at that for now.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like Yaz has got a run on Tim. So it looks like
Tom's that is his second stop, isn't it? Yeah. Now this could be interesting because Chris Shaw is obviously on the fuel save strategy. Tom Stanley is now going to be on the flat out to the end strategy.
Yeah, gonna be interesting. But he's got to get back out near him. I mean, if he's got to go through a whole bunch of traffic to get to zero that, what should I say, zero that thing out.
Yeah, he's going to have Carl and David in front of him, but I'm not sure. I think those two are going to have to stop as well. What's Stefan doing?
Whoa. Hang on to it.
Oh, he just clipped the grass on the exit. Oh, he just nudged the wall.
Yeah, and he had it, he didn't, he had it, he didn't. But, 3 places there for Tim Oreo and Yaz Samai.
Stefan must be dizzy after that one. And Stefan and Rob Ben are both in the pits.
Yeah, so I wonder if Stefan's just decided to get his last stop out of the way and take the fast repair.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think he had some big rear end damage, didn't he?
Yeah, he was okay till he crashed into the guardrail. Or wall, whatever it is. I think it's the guardrail, actually.
Oh, I think Martin has done something in the pits. I don't know if Stacey can elaborate for us.
Get the swear jar out.
Oh, she must have made a fortune this season from that swear jar. In fact, if she carries on like this, she'll be able to give up stripping. Pete Van Gool is in the pits.
Paul Burgess and Tyler Newitt still running together there. Second and third place. Stuart Dick's got a commanding lead of almost 14 seconds on these guys.
I have a feeling this TCR battle is going to come down to how quickly can Tom Stanley get past David Ayres and Carl Hardy.
I agree with you.
It wasn't a big mistake from Martin. He just took some tyres that he didn't want.
Ah. When he made a pit stop, he forgot to check him then.
Yes.
Yep. Live and learn. That happens.
We've all been there.
You're darn right.
It's worse when it's the other way round.
That's for sure.
When you wanted them, but you didn't take them.
Yep. Tyler Newitt in third place.
Yeah, as you say, Bill, Stewart's definitely stretching that little... Ooh, Chris Shaw's in.
Wow.
So he's decided he couldn't save enough.
He's going to get only a little bit probably, huh, at this point.
Yeah, Thompson's coming around the final couple of corners now, and Chris is
Okay,
away
Chris
already.
is moving on the pit lane now on his way out.
Yeah, I think
Here he
he'll
comes. Look at this. This is close.
Yep, Chris has got
Chris
him.
got out ahead of him. Yep.
About miles.
Yeah, but there's nobody between the two of them now. That'll make a big difference.
Yeah, and I don't think obviously either of these are going to be saving fuel now, so they're just going to go at it.
Yeah, they don't have to. Well,
So
actually,
that leaves Carl Hardy in first place.
that's what I was going to say. They actually have to get by the Ayres and Hardy show.
Oh, Stacey's giving up stripping. So if you're an amateur motorsport presenting interviewer, why are you not in the booth with us?
Yeah, it could give a woman's perspective.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, Tyler's a lot closer now to Paul as well.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get what's going on here. I'm not sure if they're just pacing with each other or they're that close together that's the way it is. I'm not quite sure.
To be honest, you never know what's going on with Tyler.
No, I know it.
Because he's such a wily character when it comes to strategy. And you just, I don't know. He's...
All I can say is energy and smarts are wasted on the young. What can I say?
So some of the strategies that he comes up with are things that you would just never... You wouldn't try yourself. It's...
And he's so aware of what's going on. Whoa, baby! He's so aware of what's going on, and you know, and all the calculations. Good, I'm telling you, give me a headache. He is really close now. I guess he probably heard us talking. He says, "All right, that's enough of this. I'm going to show you what I got."
Basically praying that he doesn't make a mistake and crash into Paul again.
Yeah, he'd like to be able to get by Paul at arm's length, I think. Be a cakewalk though. Paul's been doing really well.
Well, you know, we've said it. There's a win coming for him.
Definitely. So far,
Stuart's eating that gap out though. It's 16.5 seconds now.
I was just going to say, Clyde, Stewart's really taking command today, I have to say.
I wonder if Stuart's trying to increase that gap as much as possible in case he does decide to do a splash and dash.
Yeah, well, he's just done a 59. David Ayres has pitted.
Yeah, okay.
Which to me means Carl Hardy's going to be in as well.
Yep.
Because they both pitted at the same time.
Stuart Dixon pit lane as well.
Yeah, so this is the stop, the golden ticket.
I think this might be close though.
And the Burgess Newitt team are coming by now, down the pit straight. They move into first and second place.
Yeah.
Stuart Dick comes out of the pits.
But again, remember, Stuart is now fueled to the end. The other two are probably still in saving mode.
Yep.
So I would expect him to catch them in a hurry. So, who in the chat thinks we should have Stacey in as a regular commentator when she's not at work?
Stacey would be a good fit. She's a bit of a motorhead, so she would fit right in.
At least we'd have a professional commentator.
Wow, really? Yeah.
Right, Carl Hardy is in as well as I thought.
And Gary Craig's right on the back of David Ayer's bumper right at the moment.
Is David going to jump Carl in the pits?
Chris Shaw has pulled out a 6.3 second lead over
He
Tom
certainly
Stanley.
is.
Yeah, Cal Hardy's just leaving the pits now. Easily got David. Oh, Gary.
Whoa! Yeah, the one thing you can be sure with Gary Craig is he's not going to make that move unless he absolutely can.
And guys, something I forgot to mention. Obviously, we've passed through the safety car window, so no safety car this week.
Unless it's a real one in the last 8.5 minutes.
We cut away to that just at the wrong time, I think.
Roger Morton. Off the course. Yep.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Boom. Ouch.
That was one wheel on the grass, wasn't it?
That's all it takes. It's kind of what I was trying to mention about Motegi. See how easy it is to do that?
Oh, look at this. Stuart's caught to Paul and Tyler already.
Yeah. Zort is fast.
So, yeah, like you said before, Stuart can go flat out until the finish. These two in front are basically in fuel save mode.
Yep. Stewart's in a class by himself today. Pretty amazing. Well, we know he can fly. We saw him fly at Coda once. I remember that.
I sort of, in a twisted way, I hope that Stuart wins, because there's a lot of talk on Discord at the moment about, you know, the racing isn't very good when it's a fuel saving race and blah 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 blah. But, well, Stuart's just proved that, or Stuart might prove that fuel saving isn't the way to go.
Well, you know, depends on the circumstance. Oh, he's looking. No, not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't mind the fuel saving aspect of it probably as well. Some people might go flat out, other people might try and fuel save, so it throws that strategy effect into it.
That's right. It adds another dimension. And you know what? If you don't want to fuel save, don't. like how wear your tires out, put your tank full of gas, and have a good time. What can I say?
Obviously, Stuart is in the box seat here because he can make these two go faster than they really want to.
Intimidated being in the middle like that.
Yeah, I think the only issue Stuart has got is he's obviously in the less runty
That was close. Yeah, that's right. That was really close. Nah, not on the outside. Come in.
I think, yeah, Stuart's got the run now. I think he went wide to try and get a good exit.
Oh, like a slingshot. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So to me, it boils down to can Tyler and then possibly Paul defend and save fuel.
You know, Stewart has a 25-second leg. I mean, I don't know the benefit of really pushing that hard behind these guys. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. He's a heck of a lot better driver than I am.
Well, Stewart is pushing because he knows the two guys in front of him are fuel saving, and he's not.
Ah, okay. All right. I see what you're saying. But you know, with 25 seconds back to Andy Perks, it's not like he had. Uh-oh. That was a little tap.
Yeah, I think that may have been a little tap.
It was like, here I am.
And I think if Stuart can try and hold it on the outside, he'll have the inside for the final two left-handers.
Maybe he's trying to tell Tyler he shouldn't have switched to a BMW.
Possibly. As if Paul Burgess is getting away a little bit as well.
Yes, he's got to play. Tyler's playing defense.
I'm sure Tyler is using more fuel than he wants to be. Well, we got 3 minutes. Yeah, 2 laps.
Wow, okay.
So these two in front of Stuart might just make it to the end, but they might be on fumes.
So Barbecue Bill, the stupid guy, didn't realize we were that close to the end. Okay, that's the reason he's pushing.
Stuart got a slowdown.
Oh, maybe. Going to slow down. I guess there are.
That's going really slow.
I think he's still. If he did get a slowdown, he's still serving it.
Maybe short fuel.
Maybe.
So maybe he's Tyler in the home seat and Stuart's one on the back. Oh, Stuart.
Wow.
So, final lap.
White flag left.
Yeah, it's not this line. It's the other one.
No, as in final lap.
Wrong
Up,
start.
sorry.
Yeah, wrong start finish.
About to cross the line now.
They're not going to make it, are they? Got one more.
Who has saved enough?
This should be interesting.
And what happened to Stewart?
I don't know. He's dropped back to 20 seconds behind and still falling. Andy Perks might get him if he's not careful.
Yeah, I think Jay Stewart's on the field slightly.
I would say so if he's going that slow, yeah.
Probably been taking lessons from Scott Malcolm on fuel calculation. And Tim Field in the pits.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim. He's gonna cross the line in the pit.
The other thing with Tyler could just be, I'm not going to overtake Paul because I still feel bad about last week.
Yeah, could very well be.
Because he's a nice guy.
Yes, he is. Yep.
Or he would have pumped him out on the last turn, but apparently it's not the case.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go.
Well,
We said it was coming.
Paul Burgess, congratulations. Well done, mate. Tyler, good job. Second place.
So Chris Shaw coming home for the win in TCR.
Tom Stanley second. Hasn't finished yet. Carl Hardy's going to be third place. Well done, Carl. Gary Craig knocked off the podium first time in a few weeks, fourth. David Ayers, what the hell's his name? David Ayers, fifth. Scott Malcolm, sixth. Peter Van Gool, seventh. Pete Bingham, eighth. Roger Morton, ninth. It appears Matthew Martin, I'm sorry. Why do I call him Matthew? Jeez. Martin Brennan is 10th.
So, yeah, Andy Perks did get Stuart Dick.
On the
Stuart's
podium.
just said that he underfueled by half a lap.
Oh, boy. Yaz Samai in 5th. Good job, Yaz. Stefan Goebel in 6th. Rob Van in 7th. And Tim Oreo went into the pits on the last lap. Nice victory from Chris Shaw.
Yeah, it's just Chris and Tom to finish. And there we have it.
And where's Tim Oreo? Hasn't come across the line yet either. Or does that say out? What does that say? Is he out? Oh, he's out.
What, is he out or just out?
It says out in red on his name there. Must mean he dropped out, huh? He came in the pits on that last lap and dropped out. That's a shame.
I think what possibly happened is the leader went over the line, and then when he came out of he crossed the line.
Yeah.
In the pits.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That's right. That very well could be it. Okay, we got the official results, and congratulations to Paul Burgess on his first win in the league. Second was Tyler Newitt. Third, Andy Perks. Another podium for Andy. Good job, Andy. Fourth was Stuart Dick. Fifth was Yaz Samai. Good job, Yaz. Sixth was Stefan Goebel. Seventh, Rob Van. Eighth, Tim Atheo. 9th, Jamie Jeffrey. And 10th, AAA with his problems with his headset, darn it. Well, anyway, that's the finishing for GT4.
Yep, TCR results was Chris Shaw taking the win in first for Ascari Autosport, with Tom Stanley finishing in second for Asymmetric TCR, Carl Hardy taking a well-deserved podium for Result Clothing, Gary Craig finishes in fourth for BSTV Esports Green, with David Ayres in fifth for Result Clothing, Scott Markham in sixth for BSTV Esports Yellow, seventh Pete Van Gogh for Work Hard by Result, eighth Pete Bingham for BSTV Esports Green, Roger Morton in ninth for Safeguard by Result, 10th Martin Brennan, Mark Heron retired from the race, and Ashley Jafal rounds out their retirements in 12th.
Yeah. So where do we start with that, guys? We keep saying there's a win coming for Paul Burgess, and it happened. And yeah, Chris Shaw and Tom Stanley up the top there in TCR, but Carl Hardy getting the third place finish instead of Gary Craig. So let's, without further ado, bring in our GT4 winner, Paul Burgess. Congratulations.
Good job, Paul.
Thanks very much.
So we were saying at the end of last week's broadcast and in the interview with you last week and at the start of the broadcast this week that there is a win coming from you. And here it is. So you must be over the moon.
Yeah, pretty happy. My heart was pounding those last few laps when I saw how close Stuart came out to all of us, and Tyler had been sitting behind me for that entire second stint, and I was just sitting there thinking I'm in the worst position here. But fortunately everything came together and I managed to sort of slightly back Tyler into Stuart, let those two fight a bit and build a bit of a gap, enough to just see me to the end.
So when you say you was in the worst position, was that because Tyler was behind you and what happened last week?
No, it was more Tyler had been sitting there in my draft for the entire second part, and I just knew I could see it in my mirror. He was just managing to save that little bit more fuel than me. So I'm sitting there thinking he's going to attack me at any point soon. But I think Stuart coming out so close to us played to my advantage, because it meant Tyler used that fuel reserve to try and defend from Stuart and was slow while doing it, which meant I could build a bit of the gap and then use my fuel reserve in the last couple of laps just to make sure I kept that gap.
And how tight was you on fuel at the end?
Well, I ran out just round turn one, so I had a bit more I could have used.
So not tight at all then, absolutely.
No, exactly.
Perfect. And obviously, you know, I think Stuart's tactics were spot on until he underfueled by half a lap there at the end. So yeah, you know, it looks like you got everything spot on. You took away the win that we all knew was coming. And Bill sort of said that you was going to win this, and we was worried.
Don't listen to him, Paul. You know, it would have been just like you having a problem, and I would have get blamed for it. But you came through, buddy. Good job.
Cheers for the faith in me.
Well, you know, we knew it was going to come. You know, you've certainly improved since you joined the league, and hopefully now you're going to be up the front there battling all the time. So apart from having Exocet Newitt behind you, any other worries during the race, or was it as not plain sailing, but was it as comfortable as it looked on the broadcast?
It definitely wasn't. My heart was certainly pounding at the end there, and when you're fuel saving, it's always a balance of how quick do you go versus how much fuel saving. And then Yaz kept talking to me at the most inopportune moments in the second half of the race, and then I tried to do two things at once. So yeah, there was a lot going on, and I'm just glad I held it all together this week and got to the end still in the lead.
Excellent. Well, as a winner, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, again, thanks to Yaz. We had a good bit of work beforehand again, figuring out strategies, and I think it worked for both of us tonight to do that one stop. And yeah, thanks to you guys again for obviously putting on the broadcast, and thanks to Tyler for making sure he didn't hit me this week. So it's all good.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your win, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Okay, so is Ryan back with us?
Yep, I'm back.
Yes, he is.
Okie dokie. Now we did, yeah, there he is. Let's bring in our second place GT4 driver and BSTV esports teammate, Tyler Newitt.
Yeah, Tyler, welcome to the booth. First of all, congratulations on second. It's not the win, but it looked like you had a pretty good race for Paul for most of that.
Yeah, it's nice to be in here not having to apologize to anybody. It was a rough few weeks there. But no, it was a good race. I was not expecting to keep up with Paul. I was struggling a bit with the setup. You know, obviously this is my first week driving the car, and I spent a lot of time working on the setup, but I hadn't really hit it quite right. You know, I found something before the race that got me a couple tenths, but it wasn't certainly in qualifying. It wasn't enough to be up with those front three. So I didn't expect to kind of be in contention for the win. But then in the second half of the race, I seemed to have Paul's measure just a little bit. You know, I could close on him when I wanted, and I could save fuel when I wanted without getting too far away. So honestly, it was pretty comfortable, but I was watching the Delta to Stewart, and I knew it was going to be close. But I was surprised it was that close, and clearly Stewart was as well, because he didn't put quite enough fuel in. But unfortunately, any chance I had at the win kind of went away defending from Stewart, because I was just using everything I had in every little drop of fuel I could to keep him behind. I told him after the race that in another lap or so before he started hard saving, I was going to have to let him through, because I couldn't afford to keep running like that. So it was all in all, one of the most fun races I've had this season. Just, you know, it was nice to see kind of the confluence of strategies coming together at the end there, and I think it would have been really interesting if Stewart had put enough fuel in it.
And they're talking about the BMW as well, but obviously at the start of the season you started with the Porsche, but what's the differences between the two cars, if any? Is there anything like fuel consumption, just the way the cars drive, like characteristics? What's any differences?
Yeah, there's a bit of a difference in fuel consumption. The BMW uses a bit more fuel. Our fuel limit is higher, but it refuels, I think, in a pretty similar time frame. It just you can feel the weight of the BMW through the corners. You know, through the kind of medium speed stuff, it's a struggle. You know that after the right-handers under the bridge, there's that kind of left-right medium speed. It's not really a chicane, but the left-right sequence of corners, and Stewart was all over me through there, because the Porsche can just carry speed much better than the BMW can. But when you look at the race, you know, Stewart couldn't pass me despite having a significant amount of pace up on me. His pace was unbelievable. I was obviously huffing and puffing about the Porsche, but I did give it a shakedown this week just to see if, you know, the pace was much better for me, and it wasn't. It was pretty much the same between the two. So the fact that Stewart was able to extract that much out of the car was unbelievably impressive, and I feel a bit gutted for him, honestly.
And looking ahead to Daytona next week, look to the road course as well. Is it, you looking forward to that?
Absolutely. I love Daytona. It's a great track for me personally. It's obviously a track that I've been to a lot. You know, I lived in Daytona for a bit while I was in college, and have been to quite a few races down there, and have driven it probably more than a lot of other tracks in the sim. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully I can get the setup kind of dialed in better in the BMW, and I think I'm probably going to have a strong chance. You know, I'm driving 6 hours or so on Saturday around the track, so I'll be very familiar.
Good stuff. And before we let you go, Tyler, anyone you want to give a shout to?
Yeah, of course, shout out to BSTV and BSTV Esports, our sponsors, and the series sponsor, EDF Motorsports, Sacred Coffee, Sam's Minecraft channel, and all the rest of them I'm forgetting, I'm sure. But thanks for the broadcast as always.
Good stuff. As yeah, again, congratulations on second, Tyler, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Daytona next week.
Thanks so much.
As that was the second place finisher, Tyler Newt, and yeah, I don't know if you want to do it or not, Clyde, but could possibly speak to Stuart Dick to see what happened to him.
Well, I'm going to get Andy Perks in next because we don't get to talk to him very often. Third place in GT4. Welcome to the booth, Andy Perks.
Evening, gents.
So, the answer to your question is no, we can't have fog every week.
Yeah, that's the foggiest I've ever raced in on iRacing, actually. It was quite challenging about halfway through.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, we use the dynamic weather, so it's not something that we set. But when I first joined the session and see the fog, it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, with everything that happened, AAA had problems with his VR. Stuart had problems with the refueling nozzle. But you was in the right place at the right time to take full advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that's two lucky thirds now for me, isn't it? But I mean, yeah, my goal this season was to be consistent, clean, and get to the end. And then if you're in the right place at the right time, good things happen, I guess.
Yeah, I certainly I wouldn't call it lucky.
Absolutely not.
I always say, if you keep it clean and you're in that position to pounce when other people are getting things wrong, then there's no luck involved. That's
Amen,
skill.
brother.
So,
That's right.
Thanks very much.
yeah, obviously you was with us a couple of seasons ago,
Yep.
and then you've come back again this season after a break. How are you finding it?
Yeah, really good. It gives you something to focus on and train towards, which is really nice. Really like the league, like the characters, enjoy the racing. I think the track selection this season's really weird, but it's nothing to do with you guys. I don't know that they really suit these cars that well. But yeah, having a great time. Really enjoying myself.
I'm certainly looking forward to Zolder Alternative. That should be interesting. And Daytona next week. I know it's one of those tracks. Some people love it, some people hate it. What camp are you in?
I've never driven it in the slower cars like this, so I've done it in the GTEs, GT3s plenty of times. But yeah, interesting to see what it's like with this class, definitely.
Excellent. Well, before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Just thanks to all you guys for putting this on every week. It's a real pleasure being part of it. Cheers.
Excellent. Well, again, congratulations on your podium finish, Andy Perks.
Right. Cheers, guys.
Right then, Ryan. Let's bring in fourth place finisher Stuart Dick. But whatever you do, don't mention fuel.
How we doing? I'm only here to pick up Idiot of the Week award. Is it there for me? Yeah.
Oh, Stuart, man, that must be heartbreaking. You're leading that for most of the race, and unfortunately, I'm trying not to say it, but fuel calculation is not on your side.
No, I mean, I was using Crew Chief, Ryan. The Crew Chief said 12 litres. I was like, there's no way it's 12 litres. No chance. Because Mark had crashed there, I've got him doing calculations for me, and I'm trying to do them in my head, and I miscalculated by half a lap. And screwed up.
Was Crew Chief right then?
No, Crew Chief was about 4 litres too much, Clyde.
Ah, right. Well, that would have been 4 litres better off.
Well, yeah, I would have got 20 extra points for at least finishing third there.
Sorry. Go on, Ryan.
Yeah, it's like I say, you're leading that, and you seem to be out there dominating and leaving pretty much the rest of the pack behind in the early stages. But like you say, just fuel calculations are not on your side. But you must be one positive, I guess, is the improvement in pace you've got.
I'm pleased with how fast I was here tonight. I think me and Abdul were probably quicker than the other two guys, but I'm still with Abdul having to stop with technical issues. I should really have went to the top of the pile there, and all we've really done is bring Paul into it. So it looks like it's between me, Paul, and Abdul for the rest of the season now. I think for the title.
Yeah, if
Hey,
talk about
Ryan, can I ask him a quick question? Stuart, I noticed near the end of the race, before you had to really slow down because of fuel shortage, I saw you give Tyler a little shot in the back end of his car. I was wondering, were you giving a message that he shouldn't have changed over to the BMW or what?
But to be perfectly honest, well, the whole race, I'm thinking after this, I'm going to go into the interviews. I'm going to say Tyler made an arse set, switching to the BMW. But it's me that's made an idiot of myself there, isn't it? So that's what it is.
Funny. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
that's all good. Yeah, you're looking to head to Daytona next week. Is it a track you love or a track you hate?
I really enjoyed Daytona and a fast car. And these things, I'm not so sure it's as much fun. I do enjoy it, so hopefully we can be somewhere near the front next week and push on for try and take the title. That's the main aim now. Is try and be consistent. That's I have been consistent the last 2 weeks in a row. I've finished 4th, which isn't the greatest, but.
Yeah, before we let you go, Stuart, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
No, not the night, buddy. Just you guys again for putting on a great show.
Okay, thanks for that, Stuart. Again, commiserations on missing out on the win, but hopefully you can get some redemption next week at Daytona.
Thank you. Just make sure that Idea of the Week awards in the post, all right?
Will do.
Thank you.
That was the 4th place finisher, Jake Dick, joining us, and yeah, who do you fancy taking next, Clyde?
I am going to finish off the GT4 field with somebody that we don't get to talk to very often, but Yaz Samai, welcome to the booth.
Good evening, fellas.
Good evening. So, I think I've got an issue with my timing screen because I think it's upside down. It's showing you in 5th for some reason.
I thought with what happened, I'd need to jump into the interview for today. It's kind of like a podium in any case.
So 5th place, absolutely fantastic finish for you. We had a word with Andy Perks, and he was saying, he's got a couple of lucky podiums because of what happened to other people. But it's not that, is it? You've got to be, you've got to keep it clean. You've got to be in the right place at the right time. We see you having some battles with Tom Oreo as usual. And then somehow towards the end, you stealthed it up there, didn't you, with some fuel saving?
Yeah, I think the last couple of races, I think Watkins Glen, after the big accident, I was running in 3rd. At what was the race after Long Beach? I was in 4th, but then I managed to kill myself in the race. Another one race, I was speeding in the pit lane, and then in Long Beach I put myself in the wall. And so today it was I just focused on just trying to keep it on track, keep it clean. When I did fuel save on the first one, and I know that Goebel, Vin, and Tim stopped before me, and I knew they weren't going to make it because I started into my pit box at the halfway mark. So when I was chasing Tim, he was driving all over the place. So I knew that he wasn't fuel saving at all, and I just knew I had to bide my time behind him and just wait for him to either make a mistake or pull into the pits in front of me. And then I knew I had 5th place. I just needed to keep it on track.
Well, it's good, isn't it? Because, like you say, you could have had some better finishes this season, but you made mistakes yourself. But this race you didn't make any mistakes, and you're up there in 5th. So we're now looking forward to the rest of, or the second half of the season, and no mistakes from Yaz, and some more top 5 finishes.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy as I was just saying it. I'd love to stay up here, but I think that my battle is really with Stephen Goebel, Rob Vin, a little bit with Tim. So as long as I can keep in front of them, I'd be very happy. Today I got lucky with AAA falling out, but I mean, I take 5th place any time, of course.
Yeah, again, there's no luck in it, mate. It's to do with keeping it clean and being in the right place at the right time. Daytona next week. How do you like Daytona?
Yeah, I think we do well with the BMW on the big part of the oval. Again, the inside is just about trying to keep it clean. There's a lot of places to spin out. And if people get impatient in the infield, a lot of things can happen. So yeah, again, it's one of those tracks. You can just keep it clean, keep yourself out of trouble. You could place well. So hopefully it goes well.
And a win for your teammate. How are you going to keep his feet on the floor this week?
No, it's fine. He can jump as high as he wants to. Last week, I wasn't in the race, but I was watching it, and I was screaming and shouting at Tyler. We need to come out. We need to come out again. I was literally standing and screaming at the screen at the time. So I mean, it's long overdue. He's really been quick this season. He's gotten a lot faster since both of us have gotten quicker than when we started in this league last season. So he should be up there. I mean, he has been up there every week. It's just a matter of time since he got the win. For him to get the win, so hopefully he can keep that going.
Yeah, and obviously your hard work is paying off as well. So well done for that. Before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I think big shout out to Paul. Well done for today. We in our practice sessions week in, week out. So I mean, both of us have finished well. So I think a big thank you to him. I think that's really first and foremost. And then you guys, everybody else who's been in the league has just been great. So yeah, thank you for all the help that we get. And yeah, let it go. Let's just get stronger from here.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Yaz, and congratulations on your 5th place.
Thank you, sir.
So, Yaz Samai there. Right, Ryan, let's bring in Carl Hardy for you.
Carl Hardy, welcome to the booth.
Hello, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Very good.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, first off, congratulations on P3. I believe that's your first podium of the season.
I don't know, mate. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that at all. I was very lucky. I had a bit of help from GT4, I hear.
Yeah, that was a bit chaotic, that incident, and luckily you and your teammate David managed to make it through, and you were both pretty much close together for most of the race, and yeah, you cheekily managed to sneak ahead of David in the pit stops towards the end.
Yeah. Well, when we pitted, it was fine. The second pit stop, he had to take. Well, he took tyres by mistake, and I obviously laughed.
Well, at least you're the winner of the office group this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't rub it in one bit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Bless him. Yeah, he was gutted because he went off near the end as well. So, yeah, we heard all about that. But, yeah, it's fine. It was a good race. I enjoyed it. Tricky track.
Yeah, I was about to say, regarding the track and the car, do you think it was a good combination? And if so, would you like to come back to it next season if it's on the schedule?
Yeah, definitely. I think the car suits it. It's just maybe I don't. It's just it's so easy to make a mistake, and once you do that, you're done for that particular lap. So yeah, very hard, but very good. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And yeah, looking ahead to Daytona next week, looking forward to that.
Is it the full road? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing 24-hour on Sunday there as well. So yeah, just a completely different car.
Yeah, looking at Daytona as well, I'm expecting to be plenty of slipstream battles and maybe some drivers in TCR anyway doing fuel saving. Is that your plan?
I can't fuel save. I can't do it. I don't know how people do it. I'm not brainy enough to even work it out. I just go with it. I actually tried. I got a gap on Dave at one point in the race. It was 1.7. And I was like, you know what? I've obviously got a little bit of pace on him. I'll ease off. I'll try and save. And I just said to Dave, I said, there's no way I can do this. It's just, I need 4 minutes to gain so I don't have to stop for the second time. Well, I'm just going to go. So we just decided to go again.
Good stuff. And before we let you go, Carl, anyone you want to say a thank you to?
Just lads, obviously Pete joining us. So, yeah, that's good. Obviously, I've raced against him many times in different leagues. So, yeah, that's all good. And yeah, nice to. And he done really well, to be fair. First time in the car, straight in the 203s on pace. So, yeah, well done to him. And obviously all the others, Roger and Dave, and good driving all round, I think. And thank you to Jamie. I hear that's the one I need to say thank you to.
As indeed. Yeah, lastly, thanks for joining us in the booth, Carl, and again, congratulations on third place, and yeah, look forward to seeing you at Daytona next week.
Cheers, lads. Well done. Another good, obviously, session and stream you've put up. Thank you.
That was a third place finisher, Carl Hardy, joining us, and I believe up next we've got who's in the interview booth. Yeah,
let's
Gary
get Gary Craig in, shall we? Gary Craig, welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, where do we start? Some trouble with the GT4.
That's somewhere to start. Yeah, it was just moronic by Jamie, to be honest. He needs to go away and have some practice driving around other cars from other classes. Sending it on 3 cars wide and not even making the corner himself and taking us all out, and then taking everyone out on the next straight was just frankly moronic. He just needs to not participate in races until he's done some practice driving with other people. Frankly, it was shocking.
Yeah, we called it on the broadcast that there was a total lack of patience there. Especially with the speed difference in the cars, you can quite easily pick them off one by one.
It's not like there's many straights on the track, is there?
No, exactly. The second one, I'm going to look at it again tomorrow when I'm more awake. But there did seem to be an element of netcode in that. But I think the accident was going to happen anyway. I'm not using that as an excuse.
No, they were 4 wide. I thought I got through it, then all of a sudden somebody else knocked Ash back in the middle of the track and I got hit again, which got me the meatball. So the only saving grace from that is that it happened at the perfect time for the splash and dash fuel. It means I could do a full flat out running to the end from there on with a full 30 litres. I had half a lap left at the end, so it happened at the perfect time for strategy. It was just unfortunate that it happened at all, because I felt like I had really good pace tonight.
I bet you didn't play on that one, Gary, did you?
It's I've been saving up all of my luck, and it's been cashed in tonight.
I bet that was in his calculations somewhere.
Oh boy,
it was. It was frustrating because I've been putting some really good lap times in, and yeah, 3 laps in, it's just a time trial at the back.
Mm-hmm. So 3 laps in, all hell breaks loose, but you managed to get it back up to 4th. So that's like you say, the strategy obviously played into your hands in unfortunate circumstances, but you was putting in some decent lap times there, and what was you expecting before the race? Probably another 3rd, or did you think you could have something for Shaw and Stanley?
Race was super quick tonight. Me and him were very, very close on Monday night's practice, and then in the practice before the qualifying, we were both within a couple of hundredths again. But Chris was super, super fast tonight. He did have the edge, but I think I could have challenged Tom perhaps tonight. It was just, I just felt relatively good on the track, and I put some decent laps in. I was fuel saving at the start. It was going to be another one stopper, to be honest, so it wasn't going to be much fun. So at least I got to go flat out afterwards. But I think, had nothing happened there, I would have hopefully been challenging with them for one of the podium spots.
Yeah, interesting in GT4. it looks like, well, not by the result, but it looked like the one-stop strategy was worse than the two-stop strategy, because if Stuart Dick had have actually put the right amount of fuel in, he probably should have won that race. So there was a hell of a lot of strategy playing out tonight. Was Pete on the same strategy as you, as usual?
Pete does what he wants. You know, I say what I'm doing. Sometimes he'll do it. Sometimes he doesn't. It was going to be a lot of fuel saving tonight, and I think as we saw, everyone kind of bailed out of it in TCR because we just don't quite have the fuel miles of the GT4. I didn't get that far into the race fuel saving to know whether it was possible or not, but I think we were all trying it at one point. But then I saw a lot of guys coming on pit 13 and knew that it wasn't happening anymore.
Well, you know, how are you going to look at this race? Is it the one that got away, or is it you still managed to salvage some decent points from a horrible position?
Absolutely, salvaging some points. The thing that's annoying me most now isn't the fact that I only got fourth instead of third, which I'd like to get. It's the fact that I picked up 10 incident points on that one lap, which are points deducted in the championship as well. It's like a double whammy of getting slapped about. It is what it is. It's a long season. They're going to happen.
Don't worry about it, mate, because once everybody can move about again, I'll come and see you and give you a proper slap. So, you know, everything will be happy then. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys as always for the broadcast, and you know the guys in BSTV will have a good chat on whilst we're racing, and of course everyone who's watching and racing with us.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us as usual, Gary, and congratulations on your fourth place.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Okay, guys, it is that time again. It is Scott on Scott time. It is Ryan Walker and Scott Malcolm.
Yeah, Scott Malcolm, welcome to the booth.
Hi, Ryan.
Yeah, how was that race for you? It looked like, looking at the results, you finished in sixth position, so a decent result. And it seems to be you had a bit of a quiet race.
I reckon at the beginning of that race, I reckon I could have got a podium in that race today. My race pace was spot on, I think. But still need to work on that qualifying. I still can't get that right.
Yeah, qualifying seems to be, well, I noticed anyway. It seems to be your weak link, but in the race, you seem to do much better. Is that just a case of maybe not being nervous, just settling down and doing your own thing, or is it just qualifying is not your strong point?
I don't know. I really don't know what it is. What should the other guys doing, like 202s? And I'm following one of them, and they're not pulling away from me. I'm keeping up with them. There's a 202 and I do a 203. I just don't get that at all.
Perhaps you need to lose some weight, Scott.
Yeah, okay.
You'll be sorry to butt in, but you'll be pleased to know that the only member of the Scott Malcolm fan club was watching tonight, Andrew McKinley.
Oh, was he watching, was he?
He certainly was. I think he's probably still watching now because he was desperate for us to get you in for an interview.
Oh, God, no.
But yeah, you finished in a decent position in the end, and it's still points at the end of the day. But it's like you say, you could have been up there challenging for a podium, and I guess anyway, it was down to that incident in the early stages with a GT4 causing a bit of a wreck or mayhem, basically. It kind of just scuppered your chances.
So I kind of missed all that. It was like the part of the Red Sea. I just went right through the middle of it all. They're all off the track. I actually thought at that point, this is it. This is where I get the podium. But then it just one thing leads to another, and then I mess up a second pit stop, and the pit crew decides to put tyres on, they're going to get sacked one of these days.
And looking ahead to Daytona next week, is it a track you've got much experience around?
Yeah, we used to do that in the Kia quite a lot. So, yeah, got a lot of experience with that track. So, but experience doesn't go for anything if you've not got the speed.
And lastly, before we let you go, Scott, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Just the usual folk and all the drivers. I suppose I better give Andrew a wee mention.
Good stuff. Thanks for joining us on the booth, Scott, and congratulations on your 6th place finish in the TCR class, and look forward to seeing you at Daytona next week.
Yeah, aye, no problem. See you later.
So Scott Malcolm there. A race recap. That was one of them that had a bit of everything, wasn't it? Stuart Dick could have won the GT4s. AAA could have won the GT4s. Tyler Newitt could have won in GT4. But Paul Burgess took away the win deservedly. TCR, it was it does seem to be a battle for third place there, but it was very interesting to hear Gary say that he thought he had something for Tom if it wasn't for the trouble he had with Jamie Jeffrey. So absolutely thrilling race and lots of different tactics. Bill, what did you make of that?
Well, it turned out to be very interesting. Paul Burgess put on one heck of a show. And, all these guys talking about luck. I'm glad you told them, Clyde, that it's not luck. It's just you're in the right position at the right time when somebody makes a mistake, because we all make mistakes. So it happens. But Stuart Dick certainly had tremendous pace today. He was the class of the field. But again, he had a little boo-boo and it put him out of contention, which is unfortunate. But, Paul Burgess didn't make any mistakes today. He did really great. And the TCR field up front is still the same. But like you said, I think Gary's right. I think he's on the doorstep to being up with those guys. He really is. He does a great job out there. And to come from the back of the pack to fourth after that, pretty astonishing. Pretty good job. So it was interesting all the way around. Congratulations to Yaz too. I tell you, he's really a funny guy, and I'm glad to see him come through on a nice finish for him today. And I think that has a lot to do with that team. They obviously work well together, and they praise each other no matter whether they come in 10th or first. So that's really good. But anyway, it was a great day, great race. Hopefully we don't get too many foggy races, but looking forward to the Daytona road course. That'll be fun to watch. So had a good time.
And Ryan, your race summary, please.
Yeah, that was a fairly decent race. We had some mayhem going on in the early stages, and then after that, the race just quietened down. But it was good, and Stuart Dick was having a great run, led most of the race, but just unfortunate that fuel calculations or his crew chief up let him down in the end, which was unfortunate. But I think Stuart, he's knocking on the door of getting a win in the GT4 class this season, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if it comes next week. But overall, I enjoyed that race, and in TCR, I was happy to see Carl Hardy get a podium finish because he's been improving massively, and he deserved the result tonight.
And Sam, from the cameras, some good action in that race.
Yeah, some good action and not too busy after the few incidents that spread out the field today. So yeah, it was a bit less actiony on the camera, but was still a good race.
Is that a word?
Actiony, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know how to say, so
one
I
in
just
the
made a word
Oxford
for
English
myself,
Dictionary.
and everyone will understand, except you, Clyde.
Right, guys, it's time for me to put you on the spot. Mr. Bill Barbecue Switzer, your driver of the evening, please.
Paul Burgess.
Okay, let me stick that in my little doobry. And Mr. Walker, your driver of the evening, please.
Carl Hardy.
Good pick.
Ooh. Carl. Why did I just write Carl Hardon? I have no idea. Oh dear, it's been one of them days. Sam, your driver of the evening.
It's gonna be Paul for me today.
Okay, there's another Paul. And I should really go for Paul, but I knew he had a win in him. And I certainly don't think it'll be his first win. And then I was going to go for Andy Perks for finishing in third position, but I can't ignore the fact that Yaz Samai finished fifth. I thought that was an absolutely fantastic drive from Yaz, with no mistakes that we saw. And as he rightly said, he's fighting Stefan Goebel, Rob Venn, and Tim Oreo. And he's come out on top of that battle. So my vote is going to go to Yaz Samai this week.
Good choice.
Just a quick rundown on where we are there. Paul Burgess now has 5 for the season. Rob Venn 3. Ben Sharp has got 2. Stefan Goebel 2. Scott Malcolm 2. Chris Shaw 2. And then on 1 vote is Abdul Al Amri, Lee Bowden, Xavier Mamucha, Tyler Newitt, Gary Craig, Yaz Samai, and Carl Hardy. So that was an absolutely fantastic race, and I can't wait until next week when we go to Daytona. Thanks to all the drivers. Thanks to all of our viewers. Thanks to EDF Motorsports for sponsoring the series, along with the Virtual Racing Association. Coming up this week. So what have we got coming up this week? I have no idea, because I have no idea what I'm doing, to be honest. So we will be back on Sunday. That is for definite. We have the VRA GTCC on Sunday for you. Always some fantastic racing in that. And I think that's it until we come back next Wednesday, although I could be wrong because I have no idea what I'm doing. So yes, make sure you drop us a like on this stream. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you follow us on Facebook, and that way you will never miss one of our commentaries again. I'm going to start hassling Stacey to get her in the booth with us. So I think she's already agreed to come in next week, but she'll probably be late because of work. But next time she's not working, we'll get her in right from the start. So that's the end of the broadcast for tonight, everybody. Thank you all. I shall say good night. Let the guys say good night, and then we shall close. So good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thanks to all the drivers and the people that show up regularly on the chat, and our subscribers. Especially thanks to my colleagues here for letting me play along here. And hope to see you on Sunday at the VRA GTCC race. Thank you. Good night.
Yep. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thanks everyone. See you next week.